والسلام على رسولنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. نحمد الله تعالى ونستغفر ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا محمدا عبده وحبيبه ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأزواجه وسائر التابعين خلفاء الراشدين المهديين من بعده وزلمة على التحقيق خصوصا منه علامة خلفاء الراشدين على التحقيق أمراء المؤمنين حضرات أبو بكر وعمر وعثمان وعلي وعلى بقية الصحابة التابعين رضوان الله تعالى عليهم أجمعين. يا أيها المؤمنون الحاذرون اتقوا الله تعالى وأطيعوا الله مع الذين اتقوا الذين هم محسنون. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. All praises are due to Allah, Lord of all the worlds. All praises are due to Allah, who is the most beneficent, the most merciful. All praises are due to the Master of the Day of Judgment. All praises are due to Allah, who has granted the honor of Shafa'at to His most beloved Messenger, Sayyidina Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam. And may all peace and blessings be upon the light of guidance, the Imam of the Messengers, the guide of the seekers, the Master of the first and the last, the chosen Prophet, Sayyidina Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam, and upon his noble family and blessed companions, especially upon the four Khulafa Rashidin, Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq, Hazrat Umar Farooq, Hazrat Osman al-Ghani, and Hazrat Ali al-Murtaza, and all those who follow them until the last day. Ya ayyuhal mu'minun, O believers, welcome to you on this Yawmul Jummah, the first Jummah of the month of Jumad al-Akhir. Welcome to you in a day that is an Eid for the Muslims. Welcome to you in a day that is a day of gathering for the believers, a day for them to listen and take advice and become better servants to their Lord. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying in the Holy Quran, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, if Allah should help you, no one can overcome you. But if He should forsake you, who is there that can help you after Him? And let the believers rely upon Allah. Sadaqallahu al-Azim. Another ayat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, how often by Allah's will has a small force defeated a big one. Allah is with those who are patient. O believers, there is no doubt that today Muslims have reached the lowest point in the history of Islam. There is no doubt that we have reached to the days of Jababira that were described by the Holy Prophet ﷺ. There is no doubt that we have reached to those days when the enemies are attacking the Muslims like people attacking food on a banquet table. So what happened to us? And what happened to the Muslims? What happened that we have reached to this lowest point? For us to understand, we have to look. We have to look at people who became before us and how they were living, how they were treating Allah and His Prophet and Islam, and how they were living for Islam and where they brought the state of the Muslims. If we look at the history of Islam from the time of Rasulullah ﷺ until the time of the last Khalifa, what we see over and over again is people who did not have material wealth, who did not have status, who did not have worldly advantage. They were being given victory and support by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because they believe in Allah. They believe in the Messenger, and they believed and they obeyed their rightly guided leaders. Because they had a faith that they would not sell. They had a faith that they lived by, a faith that they were ready to die for. And because of that faith, they were able to do amazing things that history has still been unable to understand. Even when everyone laughed at them, even when the world called them crazy, with the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they made the impossible to become possible. And they kept walking forward on the Sirat al-Mustaqim. Look at Badr. 313 Sahabis against 1,000 enemies. But they had an unshakable faith, and because of that faith, they were victorious. They had that faith in Allah, and they had that faith in the Messenger. And they submitted and they obeyed to the Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam. And because of that faith and that submission, they were victorious. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is describing the help He sent in Badr in the Holy Quran, saying, Bismillah ar-Rahman rahim. Remember when you asked help of your Lord and He answered you, indeed, I will reinforce you with 1,000 from the angels following one another. Allah made it but a message of hope and an assurance to your hearts. There is no help except from Allah, and Allah is exalted in power, wise. And during the Battle of Khandak, when the Quraysh had made a huge alliance with the other tribes of Arabia and marched on Medina in order to destroy Islam, the Holy Prophet ﷺ, the Sahabis were digging a trench outside of the city, and when they were digging, there was a huge rock that nobody was able to break. So the Holy Prophet ﷺ took the pickaxe of Hazrat Salman al-Farisi and started to break that huge rock. And the hadith is telling us that he hit the rock by saying Bismillah. 1/3 of the rock was broken. He said, Allahu Akbar. I was given the keys of Damascus. I swear by Allah that I see the red houses, the castles, the palaces of Damascus now. Then he said, Bismillah, again, and hit the rock with a pickaxe again. 1/3 of the rock was broken. The Prophet ﷺ said, Allahu Akbar. I was just given the keys of Persia. I swear by Allah that I see the city of Madain, of the Khusraw, and his white palaces. Then he said, Bismillah again, and hit the rock with a sledgehammer. The remaining part of the rock was broken into pieces. The Prophet said, alayhi Allahu Akbar, I was given the keys of Yemen. I swear by Allah that I see the gates of Sana'a now. Oh believers, think about this for a moment. The Muslims at this time, they were just a small community, tiny, without any wealth, without any power, in the city of Medina, and they were just trying to survive. And they were being attacked constantly by their neighbors. Their survival is still a big question mark. Yet the Holy Prophet ﷺ was saying to them that he was seeing the centers of the greatest superpowers of the earth being conquered by him and this small, helpless group of Muslims. And whatever the Prophet ﷺ says is true. And all of those cities were conquered in the time of Hazrat Umar and Hazrat Osman. All of this was possible because the believers, they had an unwavering, unflinching, unchanging faith in Allah and His Prophet. Holy Prophet ﷺ explained that faith to Hazrat Ibn Abbas, saying, young man, I will teach you some words. Be mindful of Allah, and He will take care of you. Be mindful of Him, and you shall find Him at your side. If you ask, ask Allah. If you need help, seek it from Him. Know that if the whole world were to gather together in order to help you, they would not be able to help you except if Allah had written so. And if the whole world were to gather together in order to harm you, then they would not harm you except if Allah had written. The pens have been lifted and the pages are dry. And this crown of faith was placed on the blessed heads of the sultans of the Ottoman Empire. They were like mountains who stood strong and tall in the face of every challenge. And their only mission was to follow in the footsteps of the Holy Prophet ﷺ and to walk in the shadow and the shade of the awliya Allah. And because of that, they were able to achieve amazing, unbelievable things. From one small territory that was controlled by Osman Ghazi in Anatolia, they became the rulers of East and West and north and south. How were they able to do that? Because they always had a plan and they always had a goal. Because they were never living for themselves, they were always living for Allah. Look at what Sultan Mehmed Fatih Khan did. His goal from the time of his childhood was to fulfill the hadith of the Holy Prophet ﷺ and to be that general praised as the conqueror of Constantinople. And in order to do that, they had to have their ships enter into the Bosphorus. But because of the defenses of the Byzantines, it was impossible to enter from the water. So what did he say? Did he say, it is too hard, we cannot do it? Is it unimaginable, we should give up? No, he said, if the ships cannot pass over the waters, then they shall pass over the mountains. And those Ottoman soldiers, they carried the entire navy over the mountains. How? With the help of Allah, with the help of His Prophet, with the help of the awliya Allah. We're about to enter into the day when we will remember what the awliya are calling the second battle of Badr. The day when the entire world came together with one goal in mind, to destroy Islam. When the Muslims abandoned their Khalifa and broke their oath to the Sultan. What day is that? The Battle of Çanakkale. Our Shaykh, the true Ottoman, Sahib al-Sayf, Shaykh Abdul Karim al-Kabrisiya Rabbani, is teaching us about Çanakkale, saying they came with over 525,000 soldiers trying to pass through Çanakkale, Gallipoli. That's where the soldiers of Islam surprised them all. The last area for which they made all their calculations and said, this is finished now. We came to the end. We will pass from here in Istanbul. We'll be gone. The people who are believing in Allah and His Prophet and who have submitted themselves, their wills and their lives to Allah and His religion, they stood up. And all their planning sank into those waters. And those soldiers drowned them in their own blood, teaching a lesson to the whole world since that time up till now, never to think that Islam will be taken down so easily. It is impossible. It looks that it's down now because heedless Muslims are around, but it's not. Still there are others sitting and waiting like those soldiers who have already sacrificed their lives for Allah and His Prophet. In that battle, 253 soldiers, they were martyred. 253,000 soldiers, they were martyred. 253,000 Mehmetchiks, little Mehmets, who gave their life to honor their promise to Allah, to His Prophet and to the Khalifa. O believers, where are they? Where are we? The history of Islam, it has not ended. The history of Islam, it is still being written. And the rise of Islam, it is yet to come. The return of the Ottomans, it is yet to come. The takbir of Mahdi alayhi salam, it is yet to come. We have the chance to be part of that history. We have a chance to wake up that sleeping legend. But we cannot imagine that we can just say, yes, I'm going to be there and we're going to be there. There is a condition to that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying in the Holy Quran, do you think that you shall enter the paradises without such tests as came to those who passed away before you? They encountered suffering and hardship and were so shaken in spirit that even the messenger and those of faith who were with him cried, when will come the help of Allah? Verily, the help of Allah is always near. May the help of Allah come to bring down the oppression and the injustice and the tyranny that is attacking this whole world. Muslims, Christians, Jews, believers and unbelievers. Because the battle is going to be fought with the spirit, and those who are in the same spirit, regardless of what their race or their religion going to be, they will be together. We will be the believers. It is not the time for labeling anymore. It is not the time for any titles. It is not the time for any declaration. It is the time when the heart and what is in the heart will speak. And this is to bring an end to the tyranny in this world. It is to bring an end to the oppression in this world. To the whole world, to believers and unbelievers. It is to bring the zulm, the oppression, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given 100 years, that it will end. We are going to be tested. Don't forget. If we want to be in that category of the Sahabis, if we want to be in the category of the Ottomans, if we want to be in that category of the heroes of Çanakkale, we are going to be tested. And that test, it is a test of faith. The only way to pass that test is to be with the people of faith. For us, we will only pass this test by staying in this Jamaat, in the association of our Shaykh, Sahibul Saif, Shaykh Abdul Karim al-Kibrisi Rabbani. Otherwise, there is confusion out there, and before you know it, thinking you are on Siratul Mustaqim, we have already deviated. The history of Islam is being written. The history of the Ottomans is being written. The history of Mahdi alayhi salam is being written. We must make the intention to be part of that history, to be waking up that sleeping legend. Inshallah Rahman. Astaghfirullah. Astaghfirullah. Astaghfirullah.